with
Sorry.
that music, how do you manage those levels of cringe? I mean,
Yeah,
how,
good question.
that's incredible.
Uncringeable.
Yeah. Would you consider turning on the music? Have you tried it? I mean, you can't be a lover of music if you don't play this with music.
I believe I can be. I believe I can be a lover of music and still not play this with music. Yeah.
Oh God,
No, but you gotta
I just
remember,
can't get
like,
over that.
I'll just
like
give up the
usually when we
title.
play, no, I keep the title. But like usually when we play, like if I'm at my house or something, like my neighbor's out, doing his yard and all that kind of stuff, right? So every little piece of ambient noise that isn't your voice just drowns you out, right? So for me, it's just plus the fact that I'm literally half deaf from machine guns. So, you know,
I would just
Oh,
assume that you're actually at work and you're just hiring like a conference room and you pretend.
no, right now I'm at my dad's house for
2 seconds.
Thanksgiving.
So am I.
Right
That's
back.
why I was like, my aunts won't leave me alone because they haven't seen me in like a year, and I have a big family, so
Someone else is in his dad's house right now.
Fun fact, I pretty much always do this when I'm at my mum's because I always come and see her for the weekend. And there have been multiple times she's walked in and just looked at me, utterly confused as to what the fuck is going on, and just kind of backs her way out slowly.
nice.
She'll like walk in to put some clothes in my room or something, and she'll just like look at me and just like slowly back out. Like I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Well, I actually retreat to the patio because it is kind of cold up here, but it's not that cold for me, and
Yeah.
so nobody really comes out on the patio, so it's kind of nice. And I don't have a neighbor apparently who wants to like mow his lawn every single day up here in Georgia. So yeah, it's all good.
Oh, so you're under the how it's called the forest fires right now.
That's in California.
Yeah, that's literally the other side of the
Well,
country. Yeah, that's a 6 hour. Yeah, I think that's like a 6 or 7 hour plane flight away.
But it actually sucks because I have to use my work headset whenever I do these sessions at my mum's. Whereas I have such a nice like 2 monitor setup with my nice expensive headset when I'm at mine, and then I literally always run these sessions on my crappy ass laptop. It burns my lap as I play. Sacrifices.
Yeah, I do that too. But that's because my PC died a couple weeks ago.
Oh
you need
no!
a gaming PC for tabletop games.
Same thing happened to me.
Oh god.
What happened to it, Margarita?
I went to upgrade the BIOS, and I had like a flash failure, and I ended up just like tanking the motherboard. And of course, I bought like the cheaper one, so the actual BIOS chip is like soldered onto the motherboard, which they don't usually do. But this is like 6 or 7 years old now, and I was like, well, I don't really play any games anymore, so I'm just gonna work on my laptop, pretty much.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, machine guns is a cool excuse for not playing my music. I'll grant you that, Margarita. But
Thank you.
Raisnar, what's
Thank you.
your excuse?
I'm a music hater.
I knew it. Okay, I'll buy that. Let's begin. God, let's get this music off, actually. Alright. Who wants to do the recap? We are all a little bit rusty here. I can say the general gist of it. So you are in Aber Industries, which is like a luxury resort for the nobles on Aventine. Actually, the whole sector. And you have managed to snuck into the top floor, which I need to pull up my notes. Yes. So you've all managed to sneak in there. You have met an agent of the Inquisition named Jill Vermosta. She was working for a mysterious Inquisitor. It doesn't matter. And she tried to escape. You don't know what happened to her, but Jericho has led the investigations. You have a contact named Mordecai. We're just going through it really quick now. Mordecai is in the Palace City, and you're using him to sort of hack into places, get access to places you wouldn't otherwise have, and so on. You also have contact with or knowledge of someone called Icarus. You don't know who this is yet, but you know that they're paying attention to you, and I believe Mordecai was the one to make you aware of that. You've also used one of the security chiefs at Aver, a disgruntled employee, to gain access to the top floors, and you have sort of, so far at least, until they replace the security crew here, which they're going to do because you had the incident with Jill Vermosta, where you shot up an apartment and pretty much trashed the whole place.
When you say you really mean her, because we actually had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
So
maybe some of us.
Yeah, and like I said, you don't know what happened to Jill Vermosta, but from what you know, she was trying to escape. That's the last thing you saw. You actually asked one of the security staff, and he said that she escaped. You don't know, you haven't verified that information, but you are, as far as you know, alone. You're in the top floor. This is like looks like a top secret facility. Dark metallic surfaces everywhere. So really advanced cogitators, machinery on every wall. Everything is this blank metal surface, and it's extremely well maintained, and everything is in good condition. You have made it up to the second floor now, so you've gone through the maintenance corridors, where you disabled the generators on that floor, I believe. Is that correct?
No.
Yeah, I don't think we did that.
Yeah, you didn't do that. Oh, oof. Okay.
No,
Well,
we hacked into the cogitators.
I'm pretty sure we just beat up some random tech priests.
yeah.
No, I thought we
Oh,
hacked the cogitators too.
Yeah, you
Oh,
killed
yeah,
a bunch of Skyrim.
Sister,
And,
whatever. Hacked them.
and then you made it into the servants' quarters, where you had a little altercation with some security guards. They are currently all dead. One tech priest was left alive, although Jericho went back to execute him. But we don't know how that turned out. You picked up a bunch of good equipment there, some hotshot las guns, and you made it further. Where did you get the information that they're replacing the security? Was it Mordecai?
No, it was the second in command, I think.
Right, yes. Rico.
Yeah, Rico. I was gonna say I forget his name.
And he is leaving now.
Yeah, Jericho exported him to the Palace City for services rendered.
Exactly, yeah. You used your favor with him to get him out of there. And right now you made it into an elevator and you're rushing to the top floor.
Will.
This session is a
How am I
little
gonna
unique in
practice?
that
Alright, I got
we
my
actually
voice,
running
don't worry about it. Just any message
time.
and
So it's a
it'll
time
appear
limit.
to all players.
So
Roll the dice.
whenever you guys are not
and you can
describing
enter
something
the
or
formula.
talking in character,
The format
I have a
is
timer running. That timer is running in real time, and it is running until security arrives here. So we will begin as you step out of the elevator. First, any questions?
So wait, that timer is running only when we're not talking?
When you're not describing something in character,
Oh, okay.
it's going to be paused.
Alright, no
If you
problem.
do that, just for the sake of you being able to describe whatever you want in full detail without time constraints.
Yep, makes sense.
Alright, guys, you step out of the elevator. This is what you see.
It's nothing.
You need to
Look
zoom
down.
out.
Look down.
Darkness.
I'm looking down, don't worry.
Is everyone there?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Now I see it.
Are you there, Resnar?
Yeah.
Cool. Can you see it, Kit?
Yes, I am here.
Awesome. So, you've entered a dark facility of sorts. It's only lit up by occasional sparks and blasts of energy. You see bright red and yellow lights flashing against the brushed metal surfaces. Everything looks very sturdy. Thick metal bolts securing the huge metal plates that make up the walls. And you step out on metal tiles. You look to your side and you see machines unlike anything you've seen stretched up to the ceiling from holes in the floor. You see some monotask servitors and servo skills hover past you. They look very fast in your direction and then sort of just turn around the corner and beam out. You see lights and sounds that indicate to those of you who are observant and experienced with this that some ancient machine spirit looks over this place. You sort of get that feeling immediately that this is all sort of choreographed and everything is happening in tandem. Those of you who don't have rebreathers, you can sense that the air is thick and there's this smell of welded metal and oil that burns your nose as soon as you step off the elevator. You think you hear a faint noise of an alarm somewhere in the distance.
Wow.
As soon as you step out, you see a tech priest turn a corner and he sort of looks at you and he gets a little bit scared and he backs off. And that's where we begin.
Can I just ask a quick question? Because I might have missed a session or
Yeah,
I forgot. Why are we on this floor again? I remember being on the floor below.
Jericho, you can do the recap.
So this was the next floor that we went to. So the last session.
Couldn't we skip this floor and go to the top floor?
No, this is as far as
No.
it goes. So
Yeah.
you know from the
So this
schematics
is
that there is an extra floor, but that is completely blacked out in the schematics.
So we don't know where
Right.
the elevator is. To the top.
Well, this is the elevator you know of. You've seen another elevator, but you haven't been able to access.
Okay.
Yeah. So Maria, you didn't miss a session.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That last session ended with us getting in the elevator.
Right. Gotcha. Sorry about that. Okay.
No worries.
So we see a tech priest and how many combat servitors?
3.
So, combat servitors, well, Jericho, as soon as you turn the corner, you look at this tech priest, he freezes. Like as soon as you turn around, he just stops. He's on the way down, and he just turns around slowly, his face lit up by bright red lumen globes. To his side, you see a wall of combat servitors. They're just lined up, and as you turn the corner, you see at least 5, 6 of them.
At this point, Quentin is quickly leaning over to Jericho's ear and he's like, I have a feeling that we probably want to stop that tech priest activating all of those servitors.
Llewellyn looks at the servitors and kind of like inspects them to see what kind of armaments they have attached to them. Obviously plotting something. She rubs her hands together greedily.
Oh yeah, they are heavily equipped.
As I remember, we are on this floor because there is a very important power supply 1, 2, 3, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Great. So as everyone is freezing terror, looking at the servitors, Ross just leg it towards the general direction of the power thingy. Have fun, guys!
Quentin kind of raises his hands up to the tech priest. Slowly takes a couple of steps out, and he's like, well, we just came from downstairs. There were some intruders down there. We were sent by the security men. They said to skedaddle and come up here. We're just here for maintenance.
So all of you now see the tech priest. He's hunched over, wires and mechadendrites sticking out of the huge figure, and a head appearing somewhere under a hood on the middle of his body. He turns around and goes,
Finally! You're the security dispatch. I was eagerly awaiting your arrival when I heard the strange sounds from below. Follow me. I'll take you to the problem area.
he points in the distance, and you see a little sort of deformed hand pop out of the ropes.
Quentin steps forward, nudging Jericho with him as he goes to follow the tech priest.
Quick!
What do you do?
Follow him, I think. Is Mogadishu
Yeah,
here?
we definitely want to follow him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ross is trying to make her way into the, what's it called? The generator area, or what was that?
My laptop is loading this at 2 frames per second, by the way.
Sorry?
It's gonna take a while.
I think it's just loading slowly.
No, my laptop is not even moving the figure. There it goes. I moved it 30 seconds ago. Alright. Let's see.
No, I see only darkness.
God. Every time I change between reveal area and move token, it takes at least 20 seconds.
Oh, I see the things.
Yeah, so Quentin's following behind the tech priest.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
got his hand behind him, behind himself, just kind of gently stroking his plasma gun as he hopes the tech priest isn't going to turn
Yep.
on him.
I'm just gonna reveal all the relevant areas because it's way too laggy right now.
Yeah. Actually, that's strange. It's really laggy for me too, Morton.
Oh, okay. So it's not just my laptop.
Oh, it's not lucky for me.
I don't know. That's weird. But as we're walking, Jericho will be behind Quentin, and he's basically using Quentin's body to like mask his movements so that the tech priest can't see him, and he is looking through every like nook and cranny as they're walking, and so he's keeping up with them, but he's trying to locate anything that might be of use or explosive or anything like that as they're walking.
Very nice. There's nothing really noticeable here. Just a bunch of machinery and the cogitators hanging from the ceiling. The tech priest runs over here, sort of leans up against the wall.
In there!
Points to the room.
Quentin kind of looks over and goes, so what sort of security issue is this, so that I know before I enter the room?
He sort of goes silent for a moment.
Hurry! There's little time.
Well, if I don't know the situation, that gets me and my folk killed, you see?
He sort of stumbles in his words.
Wait! This place is not safe unless you have the proper bionic implants, which I assume you do. If not, you can expect to grow an extra limb or two over the coming days.
Quentin just doesn't miss a beat. He's like, of course we got the correct implants, but you're avoiding my question. What is the situation in there? I need to know before I send my team.
The servitor, he's out of control. He's going to shut down the reactor core.
Oh, I see. At this point, Quentin looks over at Jericho and kind of raises a brow at him as to whether they really want to stop the servitor.
Yeah, Jericho looks at Quentin like he's having the exact same thought, like, woof. Well, I guess that part of the mission's over.
Quentin looks around the corner of the wall. Can you see anything?
Yeah, the tech priest sort of points around the corner.
It's there, around the corner. Quick!
Can Quentin actually see it as he looks around the corner?
Is it an
No.
actual direction of the reactor?
No, you have no idea.
We should, I guess.
The room that you're looking into is a tan-colored room. Metal benches are aligned towards the other end of the room. Everything looks very sterile and plain. It kind of resembles a church, and you recognize emblems of the cult Mechanicus. You see some wires and lumen globes hanging from the ceiling, but there is little else of interest.
Is he lying? Can I?
Please.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I roll anything to see if he's lying?
Yes, you
Inquiry?
can. Scrutiny.
Scrutiny.
I'm gonna give you a plus 10 on that.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, let's do. Add 10, but that's not gonna help me. Well, failed. Didn't notice anything.
Seems legit.
It was worth a guy.
Quentin kind of just gestures at the tech priest. Well, after you.
He goes,
He's very strong.
Yeah, and I'm very good at protecting, but I don't know my way around here, so you first.
Oh, that's just a small room. He's right around the corner.
Well, you can go stand in the furthest end of the room. Why are you so scared?
his eyes narrow, and you see a little sort of cog start to twist near his face, and his eyes sort of twitched back and forth very quickly, and then he focuses on you again, and you feel sort of like chills going down your body, and he basically talks really fast and tries to just distract you, and at the end he goes,
A fusion process requires a confined and stable environment with extreme temperatures and pressures. The slightest disturbance will cause a massive chain reaction and destroy the structure. As you know, the generator.
and then he just goes on and on and on about this.
Quentin kind of just looks over his shoulder at Jericho and kind of gives him a shrug. Shall I go in?
Jericho is reloading his computer right now.
Oh. We shall wait.
Lulin comes over to these servitors and basically is trying to make sure they're all operational.
Llewellyn, they are all shut off.
Oh, okay. While that conversation is happening, if any of them is holding like an integrated bolt gun, then Llewellyn would like to try to access the compartments that hold the ammunition and take it.
Nice. Very nice.
Shall we
Yeah.
wait? Shall we wait for Mogadishu to come back in?
Let's wait for Mogadishu. Let's get it now. Llewellyn, you can do a... Let me find the skill set.
A what?
2 seconds. You can actually do a common lore Mechanicus, -10.
Common Mechanicus.
Very nice. Alright. Then you can do a security test, -10.
Minus or plus?
Minus.
It's gonna be fun.
Nails it.
4 successes? Or 5? 5?
5 successes. Very good. You not only disable the ranged weapons, you actually take the ammunition from it. It
Yes.
From all
not,
of them?
no, from the majority of them. But you see that the ammunition is not useful for you. But you have removed their ranged weapons.
Would it fit in the modified Maxim bolter that we got from the other combat servitor?
Perhaps.
Or the modified plasma pistol?
It would maybe fit in the bolter.
The bolter? Okay.
What's Ross doing in the meantime?
Wait a second.
Nope.
I'm back. It was a very badly placed question. Okay, in the meanwhile, maybe Ross can just take a look around the corridors and check maybe some of them are like conveniently labeled the reactor chamber.
No, there's nothing named that. However, you notice something interesting to the north as you look through these doors. There's a huge cogitator there. There's also a huge metal door.
It's very close to our friend.
Yes.
Is distracted enough to enter one of the rooms? Or the...
Yeah, you can enter both of them.
Oh, that's great. So I'll go check out the first one.
Okay. As soon as you enter the room, you're in a small observation room with windows on all sides. It's overlooking a huge room with some vats filled with liquid. The cogitator in front of you is open, and accessing it confers some information on various subjects in stasis in front of you. The liquid inside the vats is keeping them alive, and there's a list of subjects.
Oh, this is interesting. Ross takes pictures of screens because she
As
doesn't
you-
know how to do screens.
As you sort of pull out your pic recorder, your camera, and you start to record into the room, you notice the green goo on the ground. It's barely lit by some orange light. You see a stumbling shape sort of come out from the goo, and he stumbles up to the glass, and he looks deformed. Looks like a mutant.
Jesus.
Yes. Ross tries not to panic and just hold this camera steady while filming.
As soon as you say that, you hear a voice behind you.
I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
Touch what?
You turn around and you see Jill standing there.
Huh.
She is huge, intimidating, and clearly, like, if you've seen Terminator, she looks like the Terminator.
I remember
She's
her.
half metal, half woman.
I've never been in one room with her, but I do remember.
Yes. What
So
do
I
you do?
guess Ross would probably like jump on the console and not hopefully, but probably like press a random button, just like, you know, by accident.
Okay. You turn around and you can do an
Awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And bam, I'm blind.
Too bad. You press a random button.
Oh.
I want you to roll a 1d6.
I just love the idea of just pressing a random button out of the blue.
Okay.
I love random.
This is interesting. Okay. Okay. That's actually incredible. As soon as you press that button, one of the vats empty of liquid, and you see this liquid just splash into the room. And Jill takes a step forward and goes, "What have you done?"
Ross just like comes to the corner away from the console. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
"Get away from there, you're going to kill us all." She makes room for you to run out.
I do exactly that.
Okay.
Go back to the elevator.
Do you just run without looking back at all? You just run out.
No, I probably take a little peek.
As you turn your head and look into the room, you see a glistening, gooey shape. A female humanoid shape. A naked woman. Step out of the vat.
Is she like totally gross?
Totally what?
Is she gross or is like a regular?
No, not at all. Looks almost synthetic. The skin is smooth. Everything looks like a newborn almost. And she steps out, and you see her face and her hair, and it looks exactly like Jill.
Alright, let's not make remarks to Jill about Jill. Hello, Margadish.
Oh, is he back?
Sorry about that.
Jill Vermosta steps into the door and blocks the entrance.
Can we all see that? Because she's up there.
Yep. Those of you who have been here a while, you turn around, and to your amazement, you see Jill Vermosta, who you thought was dead, standing there in the entrance.
At this point, Quentin quick steps up to the tech priest, pulls out his plasma gun and just shoots him straight in the face.
You shoot at the priest?
Straight in the face.
Alrighty. You know what to do.
It's combat! He shot him straight in the face!
What? You shot him in the face.
I shot the
If we're getting
tech
into
priest in the
combat,
face.
Is
Yeah.
there any idea how much of this ammunition I was able to steal?
Oh, it's like hundreds of rounds.
Oh, okay.
You can just take as much as you want.
This tech priest was bullshitting. And also wasting time. Though I will let Mogadishu say something first, because Quentin did ask Jericho what he should do before he did anything.
So can I just get a real quick recap of what happened?
Absolutely.
We got your waifu on board.
The last
Ross.
thing that I could hear.
Ross has gone north into the room above. As she entered, she saw basically vats and this green liquid on the floor. A huge room just outside the small observation room with windows on all sides. The vats are filled with a liquid, and she looked at the cogitator and decided to press a random button.
No, she was not. She pressed it backing off from Jill.
Yeah. But that button opened one of the vats, and she saw a list of different names and identities in the different vats. She hasn't really understood the nature of the room or what it is, but as she opened it, she ran out, and over her shoulder she saw Jill Vermosta step out of the vat in a naked form covered in this liquid. And she looked up, and when you met her eyes, it definitely looked and felt like her.
Okay, so the last thing that I heard before I totally crashed was Quentin trying to do a scrutiny check, and I didn't hear if that succeeded or not.
It failed.
It did
It
not
seems to be
matter.
telling the truth.
Could I do the same thing with Jericho?
Absolutely. Yes.
So he's not shot in the face yet.
That is +0. Jericho, your experience as an investigator. You look over Quentin's shoulder, and Quentin is kind of like, alright, just listening to him. You can tell from his movements that they're way too robotic and calculated. He's definitely lying.
And Quentin then
So-
looked over his shoulder and asked Jericho what he should do.
So I don't know about investigator, but maybe consummate bullshitter would describe Jericho's ability at scrutiny. But he looks at the tech priest and he's like, "Why are you lying to us? What's in that room?"
He goes,
I am the reactor core chief technician. Why would I lie?
I don't know. That's the question that I'm asking. But you've got 4 very pissed off security personnel here who have been sent here to fix whatever situation we're in, and we need to know what that situation is.
he looks around the corner and goes,
I outrank you. Mr. Aver has assigned the best technicians in the Thule subsector to tend to the reactor. Any commoner attempting to interact with it would be instantly pulverized. You are security staff. You're not supposed to ask questions like that.
Yeah, sure, but unfortunately, you called us, so you must have a problem that you can't seem to solve, and they're not getting instantly pulverized, which means that's something unusual, I think.
you see his eyes twitch back and forth very quickly like he's processing information. And he goes,
Quick! The whole building will explode!
Well, we don't quite believe you in your excuses, so you're gonna come up with the truth real quick, or we're gonna have to take executive action as security personnel dealing with a lying employee.
If you disobey my orders anymore, I will have you fired.
he looks threatening and he sort of walks to your side. He's hunched over, tiny compared to you, Quentin, but he's making very threatening gestures with his finger, sort of wagging his finger at you.
So Jericho, as soon as he says that, he pulls out a glow stick and he lights it. He hands another one to Quentin and he said, "Well, the first thing you said was that the building's going to blow up, and then the next thing you said was that we're going to get fired. So I don't think both those things can be true.
They can
So I'm
both be
gonna sit here-
true, I assure you.
I'm going to sit here and smoke a glow stick until you figure it the fuck out."
Yeah,
He gets-
this glow stick tastes real good, so I think I'm gonna join my comrade here.
He gets very agitated. He goes,
You obviously don't know who I am. Very well. I'll tend to it myself.
and he sort of struggles down the hall and enters this room.
Oh, he's changed the room. Quentin just turns to Jericho. After him.
So Jericho has another plan. Sorry.
No.
As soon as he turns around, Jericho's got a shock maul, and
Yeah.
as soon as his back is turned, Jericho slams him over the back of the head with the shock maul.
But Quentin just looks at Jericho and he's like, "You stole my thunder."
Why don't you just go ahead and roll for it?
Okay.
Even though you're probably going to kill him with one shot.
Quick question, GM, while he's rolling. What
Yep.
happened to Tetricus?
Tetricus was sent on.
Yeah,
I
I
believe.
sent him back to the main city.
Oh, okay. Yay!
That is a very good hit.
So that's to hit. And this does do shocking damage as well. So, but my damage is not very high.
I believe that.
Do you want me to roll damage or just?
This is in the leg, I think. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
He's down. So you all hear this loud blast. What does it sound and look like?
So Jericho, he puts his glow stick in his mouth, and Quentin moves to follow, and Jericho's like, I'm tired of talking to him anyway. And then he reaches into his cloak and he pulls out his shock maul and just clubs the guy over the back of the head. And there's this little explosion of electricity as the shock maul meets all the circuits and wiring in the tech adept's head. And he just drops like a sack onto the deck plates. And Jericho's like, well, I didn't really plan for after this moment, so I think we're on like plan D now, right?
Quentin just kind of shrugs and he's like, he was getting annoying anyway.
By the way, I need to remind you, Jill Vermosta is still standing in the door entrance, apparently.
Yeah, at that point, Quentin just kind of taps Jericho on the arm and just points over to Jill. He's like, she seems like someone that's familiar to you.
Oh. Jericho looks at her, and perhaps memories of the last time that they had fought cross his mind, but he looks really wary to like approach her. And all of a sudden, he reaches up and he like rubs his nose where she broke it, and he's like, "Jill, is that you?"
I see you are in pain. Not as much as me, I assure you. You do not know how much it pained me to scale this building, cut through the outer wall, knowing that you sold me out and probably gained direct access. Never mind that.
She looks behind her.
I have the passcode to every security measure installed by Avor's more dubious security contractor.
Technically, selling you out saved the lives of like 7 other Inquisition agents, as well as all of ours, and enabled us to get here. So I just want to say it's all business.
So you forgive me, in other words, and you want to work together?
Of course.
He gives a faint smile. Very well. You want to reach Avery's office? I suggest we work together.
Jericho looks back at Quinn, and he whispers, he's like, she's really crazy.
Well, I guess I ain't gonna trust it too far. Quentin kind of just whispers back and gives a faint shrug, like throwing out the low stick, cracking his neck a little bit and just kind of gestures to it. Well, lead the way, little lady.
It's like a big lady.
Jericho, you sort of have a little chat with her back and forth, and you can do a scrutiny test, -20.
Oh, so close.
Cool. She just comes walking out.
You know what? Actually, I'll use a inspiration point to redo that just in case.
All right.
Wow, that's
No,
unfortunate.
that's a bug in the thing. That happens sometimes. Just go ahead and re-roll it.
Let me just roll 1d100 then.
Yeah.
Because I know what you see with the.
Yeah, because I was like, the probability of rolling that twice
No.
is crazy.
No, it's too low. Yeah, no, seems legit.
I think I'll go with Quentin though, and probably not trust her very much.
Yeah, so Quentin gestured for it to lead the way. And he also kind of taps his microbead and informs the rest to follow.
Actually, Quentin, could we have Llewellyn try and hack those combat servitors, or do something to like have them watch our backs?
Yes, and also actually.
Right as you say that, Llewellyn comes around the corner dragging literally this like sack of heavy materials behind her.
That she stole from the combat servitors.
Yes.
Yeah, though when Jericho mumbers that and then they see Llewellyn, they go, well, I think the lady got that covered. But do me a favor, Llewellyn. The tech priest seemed to want to go into that room, and he gestures over to the room that the tech priest had been heading towards. You may want to check what he was gonna mess with over there.
She slowly turns her head over to the side, and she goes, "Never mind. It's just a maintenance room."
We'll see what's what. Now, I believe you were gonna lead us somewhere.
Do you mean this room?
I do. Quentin kind of just
Right.
mumbles over the microbead.
I guess she just goes and checks it out to see what's inside.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. See a huge cogitator. It looks like one of the similar one to the one in the observation room.
Can will steal Quentin for a little while because
Absolutely.
he is like the most familiar and trustworthy face. Because Mogadishu, Jericho was the guy who sold his friend, as I overheard.
So, in character, a reminder: try to describe your character's movements. If you can describe the light on him, like any visual things, that helps everyone to understand what your character looks like right now. So yeah,
Right.
you can absolutely you sort of pull Jericho to the side and the
Quentin,
two
I think.
Quentin,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So you kind of pull on Quentin's coat, and he kind of just looks at you for a second, like.
And
like
Ross
he's
stand there like a lost puppy. He's like, "Come here for a second. I have."
Yeah. He looks like he was gonna snap at you, and then he takes one look at your face, and his face just kind of evens out, and he just kind of smirks a little bit, and he just kind of he's scratching his stubble a little bit, and leans down over, and he's just you can tell that he's chuffed that you want to say something to him, and just him, and he's like, yeah, what is it, Kit Kat?
Well, I don't know what's happening right now, but first, Jericho is shady, but his friend is even more shadier. I've been in this room, and there was like a second copy of her. I think she's like if she's a spy, like a clone from here. Ross like reaches for her camera.
At this point, like the light kind of casts a shadow over Quentin's face, and his eyes kind of widen a little bit, and you can see he suddenly becomes very serious, and he's like, are you sure that you saw more than one version of her?
Well, she was slightly different. Like she was naked and without
naked
stuff on her.
Oh dear God! Clones. He just kind of pinches the skin between his brows, and he just shakes his
She's
head.
really defensive about it.
And he's like, "Don't worry. I think Jericho is he's trustworthy." And at this point, he kind of walks over to Jericho, and he kind of leans an arm on his shoulder as if he's just trying to be chummy. But as he's doing it, the corner of his mouth is just moving ever so slightly, and he's like, "It seems like your friend here. It seems like she ain't unique. Seems like there's many versions of her. If you get my drift." And as he's doing so, he's giving a very sweet, completely fake smile at the lady who's waiting.
Jill turns over and says,
Hurry! We need to go! There is no time!
and she sort of makes a half gesture running in this direction just to see if you're following her, and she looks over the corner of her shoulder.
So when Quentin does that, Jericho doesn't respond audibly, but he winks at Quentin, and then he taps his hidden holster that he keeps his last pistol in, and he just winks at Quentin, and it's kind of like that. Yeah, I know, she's crazy, at the very least. Look, and
Nice.
maybe he doesn't understand, but he's with it.
Gotcha.
At this point, Quentin is reaching out behind him, and he's just again like holding onto his plasma pistols. He kind of steps forward to follow after her, and he does so in a way that Ross can see behind, and his thumb kind of goes up in like a thumbs up, and kind of hoping that she notices that he's suggesting maybe she should be ready to be armed. Well, come on, if it's such a rush, take us to the point.
Let's go. She starts running.
this point, as soon as I kind of go around here, Quentin's like, "Are you taking us back around in a circle? We already came from here."
She runs down to this door. She enters something in the interface, and the door opens. You see more servitors lined up against the wall.
Are these servitors different than the other ones, or?
The one right in front of you looks like a repair servitor. The ones near the walls look like combat servitors.
At this point, Quentin taps his microbead again, like he's almost the way that he's doing is like he's almost tapping a rhythm on his cheek, but his fingers just touch just a little bit further just to tap the microbead without Jill noticing, and he's just kind of mumbling from the corner of his mouth. Llewellyn, did you see anything in our room?
Yes, there is a giant machine, but I haven't had time to access it.
Well, time is not really on our side, so hurry up. And then, as he's saying it, he covers it up and just like cough, like. Sorry, I just got up. The air over here ain't too great.
Too many long stick.
I guess she'll try to find a place to interface her mind with this machine, determine
Yes.
what it does.
Yes, there's a very obvious input. It is a large hulking machine, the cogs slowly turning, black oily wires connected to the ground, and of course this input. Once connected, the machine spirit makes contact.
It makes what?
Common lore tech use.
Tech.
Or
Confused.
let me check it out. Yeah, common lore tech.
Okay.
-10.
One success.
Awesome. A menu appears with several different options. Initiate general maintenance sequence. Deactivate elevators for low security clearance. Access AVER information database.
I guess she'll access the information database first.
You can do a security test -20.
Minus 20.
Very nice. As you access this information, it is extremely sensitive information from Aber himself, his notes. There is also some information on contact with Juno there that you're seeing, but what sort of catches your eye first is that there's some journals there of contact with the Eldar.
Just contact with them?
Are you sort of looking into that information further?
Yeah.
You can do a Forbidden Lore Xenos -10.
In the background, Rose takes the time to hide the tech priest's body in a locker for a proper.
Oh, the music! The music!
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It just dawned on me that Raisnar won't get anything out of this. So sad.
Oh, very unimportant.
Raisnar.
At least drop some elder memoirs.
Well, the rest of us get it. Raisnar, this is an amazing moment. What does it look like?
I guess she like starts to access information, and she brings it up in her mind, like almost physically in space around her, like this glowing pillar of the matrix code going down in front of her eyes. And as she starts to understand all of the information, she just puts it around her, and it's this surrounded by this globe of holographic information. And in her mind, in an epiphany, is able to comprehend all of it, like seeing how to solve a Rubik's Cube 30 moves ahead of time.
Oh, that was cracks me up. I love it. Thanks. Okay. Oh god. I need to turn off the music. You not only know that they've had contact with the Eldar, you know the name of the person they had contact with. Esernador. It is a long list of attempts at making contact with an Eldar, a very important Eldar, Esernador. You also sort of get this. No one will be able to access this information. You look through the raw data and sort of decrypt it again and again and again until you actually get the entire information that was sent to them in their language translated to binary. And they were trying to trade access to Aventine in exchange for information on the Pandemonium.
On the Pandemonium?
And it is all tied to a recent purchase Aver did from House Maimon, Trade House Maimon.
Okay, interesting.
I guess she just shares this information with everyone else as quickly as she can.
You also get an inspiration point, and you get instantly 400 XP.
What? Since when was that a thing?
Is a thing now.
Oh shit, I need to roll more ones.
Huge plot points.
Wait, didn't you say...
Are you going to put the name in chat so I can copy it down correctly?
Absolutely.
I thought you said when you rolled the 1 that you wasn't going to get anything from it. Or did you say the opposite?
It was, I think, about the inside
Oh,
joke.
it's just situational. It's nothing to do with the natural one.
Alright.
And then the other guy was the one that was the other group. What was the other group's name? Like started with an M. Yeah. And they were trying to get access to, what was it?
Oh, I guess it's almost correctly.
While that's happening, Quentin is kind of just pressed against the wall as they open this new door, and he kind of leans over and gives a quick look. He's kind of squinting like he's from an old Western movie. He's looking around, and he's just thoroughly confused as to what's happening right now. And he looks back over at Jill, and he just kind of raises a single brow at her, completely looking unconvinced as to where she's leading them. Where exactly are you taking us again? Sorry, I'm just, age is getting to me, and I just can't quite remember where we're going right now.
Okay, guys. Maria just said something.
I did.
Or,
Did
more,
you- Quentin.
Quentin just says.
Do you need me to repeat it?
Oh, did you say it to me?
Yes, it was.
It was a whole roleplay section that just happened and you weren't listening.
Go for it.
Oh god, are you gonna make me do it from... Oh god. Right,
No, just repeat it to recap it.
Oh, well, basically, Quentin just asked Jill where they're going, and he said it. He said that, as an old, I'm just getting so old, I can't quite remember. I did a whole little roleplay description section, but you missed it, so.
Beautiful, 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 awesome. Jill sort of looks around a corner and she looks into this long corridor, and she goes to the reactor core. She gives a maniacal smile, and you see this little glimmer in one of her eyes.
You know what? Only me being old thing, so very old. Do you have a map of some sort that I can use to follow where we're going. Otherwise, if I might, cramp up my leg and then lose track and just not know where we are. You must have hold of a map, right?
She smiles like the air coming out of her lungs, but she's trying to hold it in. Like, and she giggles to herself, looks down, and sort of in a taunting manner, looks up and goes, "Broken legs, no map. Have the standards of the Inquisition fallen so low that they are sending trainees to do the Chamber Militant's job?"
At that point, Quentin's smile drops immediately, and he's kind of just a dark look comes over his face, and his eyes kind of just burn for a second, as they do whenever somebody questions his competency in anything, and his voice kind of deepens, and he just kind of growls out, "Get going and lead us now."
She keeps smiling, unaffected, and looks up and says, "Never mind. I enjoy watching you a little confused. I'm sorry." She turns the corner and starts running in the corridor.
Quentin looks over at Jericho. "After you."
So Jericho, he actually falls behind just a little bit, just like 5 or 10 feet, as he's running behind her, and lets her go in front of him. But as he does so, he unslings his long las and just really quickly checks, kind of like Quentin's doing on the map. He's just checking each of these corridors as he's passing them. So he's more moving tactically than just running, head first into danger.
Quentin is,
Gotcha. Yeah. Like a SWAT team, you're moving from door to door. Looking around the corner, you're startled immediately by what looks like a group of soldiers running up the corridor, Quentin, as you look around. You immediately notice that they're frozen.
Oh, okay.
They're not moving. They're just these servitors. They look more human than the servitors you've seen before.
What in tarnation is going on here? Quentin grumbles to himself.
At the end of the corridor, you see an elevator.
Anything in these rooms?
Would love to rejoin the party, but also I would like to take some time to pick up this poor tech priest from the floor and put him in the next room, like on a chair or something. So at least anyone who would stumble upon the elevator wouldn't notice immediately that we have a horrible alarm.
Awesome.
So he's probably very happy.
Yes, Richmond, as Ross, you sort of drag this tech priest into the room. Just leave his mangled corpse there.
Llewellyn wants to search her slightly heretical databases for information about the specific Eldar. If he's well known or whatever, Isamador.
There is no record of this name.
Okay.
However, in the database, you sort of gather from the information that this must be a leader of an entire world of Eldar. He's commanding huge armies. And something is about to go down. You don't really know what, but it's a build up to something.
Would this be something that Jericho knows about as a member of the Ordo Xenos?
You're all technically members of the Ordo Xenos. None of you have heard this name before.
Actually, they're Ordo Hereticus.
No, they were transferred to Ordo Xenos.
Wait, what?
Sweet!
Yep.
When did we get transferred? This is a discussion for another time.
Nah, check the stream. The first session we had with this, I don't think you were there actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't notice that your credit paycheck started to have another type of...
You need to be near the microphone when you speak. It's a little hard to hear you there. So basically, that happened when you were on board the Black Ship on the way to Aventine.
Oh, okay.
And you even met the Inquisitor. None of you, I think, were there actually at that point. So it's understandable that you don't remember.
Quentin kind of turns down this corridor and he looks over at Jericho and he just kind of goes, "Listen, you keep following down there. I'm gonna be behind you, but I gotta check things. But we're running out of time, so you gotta keep going."
Oh yeah, this is all running
No
in real
problem.
time. Okay, what do you do?
So Quentin steps into this room and he, without hesitation, he just kind of looks at this locker in front of him and he just kind of kicks it open.
As you open
Some
the
of
locker,
his frustration out as on the locker as he does so.
Nice. It is a double-door locker, so it looks like a shower room locker. It's as tall as you. It has some air vents on it, and doesn't look very secure. You break the lock as you kick it, and you open it up. There is a targeter inside. A bunch of clothing, some uninteresting. But the targeter sort of catches your.
A targeter? Sorry, what is that?
Yeah, there's a modification for a
guiding.
weapon.
It's a weapon mod.
Oh, okay.
You also notice 2 clips of Tux rounds and 1 stub automatic.
Okay. What were the clothing that you said was in there?
It looks like robes and various equipment. Nothing interesting to you.
And is this in both lockers?
Okay, you want to open the other one?
Yep.
This one is locked. Looks more secure.
What sort of lock are we talking about?
Oh, it is a pretty heavy physical lock.
Physical lock. Oh. Quentin just shoots it off with his plasma gun. Pistol.
Okay, so you take up your plasma gun.
He takes a step
It takes
back.
3 rounds to completely mangle the lock.
3
As you
rounds.
burn
Jesus.
it. Yep, as you burn it in different directions.
Okay. Let me just note that down. Yep.
So the rest of you have these loud blasts of plasma. And the locker opens up, this thick smoke fills the room, and there's still a little flame sort of burning in one of the lockers. You open it up, and you see 2 full Enforcer light carapace armor.
Quentin just kind of like peers through the locker, looks down at it, and he's just like, "For the love of God, I already had this armor. We had to get rid of it. Oh, goddamn, want more of it." He's kind of grumbles to
see-
himself.
At the bottom of the locker, you see a medkit, 2 glow globes, and manacles.
Takes a manacle. Well, he takes everything actually. So, drop that down. So
The
it was
Enforcer light carapace looks like this full body, super heavy armor, and it's hanging in the lockers.
He's gonna leave the carapace, because he doesn't need it. But it was toxic rounds, a targeter, manacles. What else?
Stub automatic.
Stub automatic.
What do the rest of you do?
Jericho is following Jill.
Gotcha. Jill walks up to the door and looks around the corner. She says, "There is someone in there."
While this is happening, Quentin has gone and checked the next room. He's kind of just he's slipping through from door to door.
Fucking looting.
Pretty much, yeah.
Gotcha. So first of all, you spot this elevator at the end of a hallway.
Yep.
But in the room you're in now, this looks like some kind of dining place. There's a bunch of food, a bunch of equipment there. There are also lockers all around the wall, the far side wall. Inside, you find, this is a pretty long list. I'll just
God.
reveal it on the map.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
Whoa. 5 data slates.
Yeah, Quentin is just gonna take all of that. I'm gonna write it all down. While he's doing that, Quentin buzzes on the microbead. It's kind of like, mainly to Jericho. He's like, "Be careful. I noticed the elevator down here, and I ain't sure she's taking us the right way. If this elevator takes us up, that's really where we want to be going, rather than a wild goose chase. Be ready to break contact and remove her if necessary.
Yeah, Quentin, I heard shots from your direction. What happened?
Oh, I was just opening a locker. He just giggles. Giggles is not the right term. He just kind of chuckles to himself as he says so, and he just strokes his plasma pistol lovingly in its holster. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
In the next room, this is a very sterile white room, white surfaces, and there are 2 tables in front of it. This gray thing is a
Sorry?
What do you do?
You
This great thing
point
is a
out.
what?
Cogitator.
You said there was somebody in the room. Can we see him?
Nope. Gilbert must have said she thought she heard something in the room.
So Rose just unholsters her weapon and said, "What's the plan? We go in?"
Jericho looks at Ross and he's like, "Go in, but quiet." So Jericho reaches to his sleeve and he pulls out one of the knives from his leather vambrace that he had used to kill the other tech priest with. And he kind of pulls his cameline cloak in tighter and moves into the room.
Yes. You move behind the table. As soon as you do that, Jill also runs in and hides behind your table, although she doesn't have a gun. She sort
While
of runs up to the
She
cogitator.
don't like the gun.
while they're doing that, Quentin goes over to the elevator to inspect it.
Yep. This elevator looks like some super high technology. It is completely clean brushed metal, and there is a strange interface next to it. Looks very complex.
Quentin immediately just he kind of spots Llewellyn as she's going past his corridor because she seems to be lagging behind, and he just kind of taps on the microbead quickly and says, "Llewellyn, my amazing techie crazy woman, I might need your help over here to deal with a piece of something." And he kind of leans down over it, and he looks like you could imagine an old grandpa staring down at a modern piece of technology now. He's kind of just squinting at it, and his fingers are hovering over the keys as if he wants to press one, but he knows he has absolutely no clue of what it will do.
Awesome. Get an inspiration point.
As Llewellyn's kind of meandering by, she hears the request for help in her comm and she starts to turn towards the direction to help. But then, like, after she's being called crazy lady, then she kind of just stands still and takes the time to talk over the comm and she's like, "It is customary when requesting assistance from another not to insult them."
Oh, Quentin just kind of laughs over for a second and is like, "Forgive me, for I have sinned. You are, of course, the most amazing, the most brilliant, the most technologically advanced being in our very small party of people who are not good at technology. And so therefore I humbly, deeply request that you come and look at this gizmo right now. Thank you very much."
Llewellyn just smiles and happily goes over, taking it at face value with no perceptive skills at all.
Awesome. You get an inspiration point. Well, and did someone just move the servitor?
Nope. That was Llewellyn moving.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I can confuse those two.
What do you do, guys?
I'll let them do the room first, and then we'll do the interface afterwards.
So Jericho sees this tech priest.
Oh yeah.
And I did make a stealth roll. I got 7 degrees of success.
You are invisible.
Is the tech priest, like, is he working on something, or?
Yes. As soon as you look over, you see the tech priest, also covered in his robes. He frantically turns back and forth, his mechadendrites and robes sort of brushing up against the cogitators as his hands flail back and forth to different mechanical parts, and you hear these cogs slowly start turning. It smells of burnt and oil, and it looks like he's trying to destroy it or destroy the interface here. He's like turning everything way too fast, being very heavy-handed with it.
Cool. So Jericho, if he is otherwise occupied, Jericho will pull out his shock maul. So now he has his knife in one hand and his shock maul in the other.
Badass.
And he is going to stealthily sneak up behind the tech priest.
Yeah.
And you want to make another stealth roll for that?
He does not notice it. He's completely oblivious to your presence.
And Jericho's going to
Aren't
club
you
him over the
intrigued?
head too.
I want to make some kind of a girly scream, so the tech priest will be aware.
You scream. Is that it?
Just peep a little.
As you look around the corner, you see another tech priest, Ross. He's also leaning up against his cogitators, and he is quickly turning on and moving levers, pulling different things, and you see lights, these square red lights start blinking in a sequence back and forth. You haven't seen a lot of cogitators and interacted with them, but this doesn't look good. Like, it doesn't look like it's just operating it normally.
Ross tried to catch the eye contact with our friend here, the Russian lady, how she's called?
Jill.
Yeah. It's like, she's looking at her, it's like, we don't have any radio connection, so she just whispers, do you know what's going on?
She walks over to you and goes, I think they're trying to destroy the reactor. Or turn it off?
But
Perhaps they're trying to stop us from accessing it.
and Jericho is already like mauling one of those guys in the background.
Jill is gonna turn the corner and basically with her legs just wrap them around this guy, and then you hear the snapping sound and a whizzing and beeping of his cogitators before they short circuit, go out.
So Jericho radios Quentin very quickly, and he's like, Quentin, I've got the reactor core secure, but I think they're trying to shut it down.
At this point, Quentin is kind of letting Llewellyn do her thing, and he turns back towards her and just kind of leans into the bead for a moment as he thinks on the information. Why would they be trying to destroy the reactor core? That's what we're trying to do. Why are they trying to do the same thing as us?
The tech priest that I just killed was trying to destroy the interface. So I don't think they're trying to destroy the core. I think they're trying to keep us from destroying it.
Well, that shows that we're on limited time. I'm gonna bring Llewellyn over just to keep the place secure. Check if there's anything else that we should know about. At this point, he turns over to Llewellyn. Well, once you're done with that, we got another brilliant job for your brilliant mind, because, as you know, we're completely useless with these things, so let's wrap it up here quick.
Yeah, it's got lots of buttons and blinking lights on it, Quentin.
Oh
I'm
no,
pretty
not
fucking
the
lost
blinking
after-
lights! Oh god,
Yeah.
blinking lights is next level. Come on, Llewellyn.
I just wanted just a moment. Looking here. She goes over the device here, attempting to discover its origins and operations.
What room are you in?
With the top north room next to the double locker room.
By the lift.
I see your thing as being near the elevator.
Yeah, that's what I just said. By the
Okay,
elevator, by the lift.
Gotcha. Yes. Llewellyn, you can do a -60 security check.
Could I get that multi key real quick? I can pass.
Yeah, Quentin hands over the multi-key.
Let's give this a shot.
Please stop doing the eating ASMR.
Good role playing there.
So that's, let's hope we get lucky.
Oh! You
Whoosh.
wait, no, you have an inspiration point.
Yeah,
You
I'll
have
try
an
again.
Yep.
Remember that you can use fate to boost your thing by +10.
That is
But we
true.
don't hardly ever get our fate back though.
Get it every 3 sessions.
I guess I'll go ahead and do that too. Yes,
Wait,
that
did you use the
passes
fate?
then. Yeah, I
Oh,
said I'll go ahead and
yeah.
do that too.
Okay. Well, you hear this pleasant sound of an elevator arriving. Bling! And then the doors open.
At this point, Quentin just kind of seizes Llewellyn's shoulder and he's just like, I could kiss you if you weren't so strange. He kind of just pats her shoulders instead and he goes, good job! Now let's go and hack something else. And he kind of just starts to quickly make quick strides back over to the room.
You all get an inspiration point. Both of you.
Llewellyn kind of looks at the door and then looks back and she's like, Quentin, I don't know how long this will remain open.
Put your
And
finger.
she chases after him.
Well, we have no choice. It's gonna have to remain open as long as it's gonna have to remain open. I would say go for the reactor core first, please, Llewellyn, if you don't mind. We need to shut that thing down. Kit Kat, you come with me. We're gonna secure the elevator and make sure it's all okay. And you lady over there, and he just kind of points at Jill hesitantly. You come with us. I wanna, make sure we're heading the right way.
Can I check the room real quick before all of those things happen? Is there anything except for extremely complicated thingy with blinking light?
Yeah, the bodies of the tech adepts, as you sort of search them, you find data slates on their bodies. The information is just open. You can just read it.
Alright. So
Do you want to
maybe
take a look at
I
them?
have enough time when they were hacking so I can take a look. Actually,
Sure. Yeah, you basically go into this long list of entries revealing regularly scheduled maintenance jobs and delivery. You also see inspections of the main data loop connected to the plasma reactor core. And you see that you need a little more skill to be able to figure out more.
so they were totally normal, regular.
I would ask you to do logic -20, but that's sadistic.
Maybe I'll get a 1.
Maybe. Okay. Do you want to try?
Yes. No, I am not.
You gonna re-roll that? Or you gonna leave it?
I can reroll that. I'm not sure why though.
You got some
So, no.
inspiration.
Right, if you insist.
I didn't insist. I just asked. Don't put this on me.
Okay, then I won't reroll. I'll just leave
Okay.
it like that.
Yeah, so Quentin also tells Jericho to guard Llewellyn, and he kind of heads back over to the lift. And considering Llewellyn's words, he kind of just keeps one foot in the lift in some vague hope that will mean the lift doesn't move.
What is this thing right here?
That is a very solid door.
Where would I access the control for the reactor core? Is it on the core itself, or?
Everything that's gray is a cogitator. Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, okay.
So everything gray is a cogitator.
She like steps gingerly around this tech priest, like hiking up her little tassels and hanging bits of cloth.
Nice. Yeah, so you see this really advanced cogitator. You walk around a circle just admiring it for a second. It has smooth surfaces, and it looks like no expense was spared making this thing. You see long lines of square red buttons running along the mainframe. You also on the screens see various economic statistics, planetary reports, and other sort of mundane data flashing. In the corners of the room, you see pick thieves and various lights flashing. You immediately get the feeling that you've all, either now or earlier, activated some quiet, silent alarm.
It appears that we have tripped a security system. I can try to disable it, but most likely forces are on their way. Prepare for battle.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would just work on the reactor core because there's no way we were going to get through this without tripping securities.
Mm.
Hmm.
There's
Logical.
an input there, Llewellyn, that you can interface with.
All right, she's going to reach around behind her with her left hand and draw out this dark, kind of oily black braided cord interface port from her spine. And it makes this slippery kind of snake-like sound as it is extracted from her spinal column. And then she plugs it in, dripping with fluids.
That was a beautiful description. You get an inspiration point. You connect it, and immediately on the three screens, in tandem, you see black 2D geometric shapes appear. They form some kind of pattern. You immediately just fix on the screens and you try to make out what it means. You try to interpret it. They form some form of visual interface. You can do a tech use -20.
Tech use.
Hey, Llewellyn, do you still have that black marble? The one that
Yes, I do still have
we
that.
figured out was this immensely powerful power source?
Yep.
Let me get that. So Jericho goes and wants to take this little black globe.
Llewellyn actually doesn't want to give it up.
Llewellyn? We're in a situation where we don't have many options, and this thing may come in handy, right?
What is your intent? This item is highly dangerous.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Highly dangerous usually also means highly explosive. And I've found a few things that either a las bolt or a plasma bolt won't explode.
I'm sorry, I can't allow you to destroy this precious artifact.
And if it falls into the wrong hands?
It is unlikely that any harm would come, as none would know its purpose.
I think they're smart enough to figure it out, Llewellyn. You already said we tripped a silent alarm.
The tech use test on the reactor core was 3 degrees of success.
Very nice. The geometric shapes, you sort of pull them around until you make this pattern. You understand that this is just a faster way to translate your understanding of logic to the way this machine operates. And as soon as you're in, you see wires popping off, and the cogitator getting ready, like almost like it's loading something, like you're loading a magazine. It's loading something to reveal it, and for you to get access to a more intimate part of the machine spirit. You can do a security test -20. All of you looking at Luella now see that she's just really quickly looking back and forth, pressing screens, pulling levers, and trying to work this code.
While that's happening, Quentin is still keeping his foot in the elevator. And he's kind of getting a little bit bored, so he's kind of lit himself a low stick and kind of just humming to himself. an old tune,
Oh.
and then he's kind of just playing.
That would pass.
You keep the 1 foot in, you keep the 1 foot out. In, out, you're waiting for the team.
Please
Nice.
Yeah,
say
it's like
that you're just
7
singing over the
degrees
radio.
security.
What did you say, Ross?
It's
I said, please, Quentin, sing it over the radio.
You might if he gets bored enough.
Everyone
So
is
you all,
hearing.
as you're working in the cogitator, you hear the soothing song. Da, 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 da. You don't really get the words because you're too focused on. But Maria sings the song, and it's not bad. As you pop the last geometric shape into place, you see the cogitator reveal new interfaces, and it's almost like this entire thing is submerged in something underground. And as soon as you press the right thing, this hatches open, and wires and really sensitive interfaces sort of rise up, illuminated by this red light.
her eyes kind of go wide, and she, for a moment, as if someone was standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down and imagining what it'd be like to jump. She sees this immensely complicated and brilliant machine, and just wonders what it would look like covered in flames.
Well, rude, man.
But then she pushes those thoughts aside.
Yes.
And
probably a good idea.
is going to attempt to disable this core temporarily.
Yeah. So you want to cut power, right?
Yeah, turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start to move the shapes until you recognize a code to cut the power to Aver. You sort of become acquainted with the language now.
Is there a way that she can do it remotely? At all?
No.
Or on like set like a timer or something like that?
You have to physically touch the symbols and move them into a shape that forms a language. It's extremely complex, and you have to be there to do it. As you move the last piece, you can do a logic test. -10.
Logic.
To figure out that elevator won't work without power.
Right. I think that's just flat for me. Yeah, 2 degrees.
You move the shapes, and immediately the giant machine gives a heavy clunk and shuts down all the security measures on the entire floor. You hear sort of the machines of the sounds of the combat servitors. All the machines in the floor start to shut down. After a few seconds, backup power comes on, and you're all illuminated covered in this red light. You see, Jericho, as soon as the lights come on, that the cogitator next to you turns on, and you associate that, therefore, with the backup power coming on.
Llewellyn
this
also...
one's blinking. It's blinking now.
Llewellyn comes over, pulling out a crack grenade.
What?
Whoa. I hate to
And
be
she's
the
holding
voice
it in
of
her
reason
hand.
here. I hate to be the voice of reason here, Llewellyn, but I got one of these. And Jericho pulls out a haywire grenade. And he's like...
She's like, oh, no, this was for you. Instead of the device. This is designed to deal maximum damage to structures.
Oh, right. I was not thinking of using this haywire grenade on this terminal at all.
She expects the terminal to determine that it's just emergency power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be working here, locally.
Pretty sure that we did something to the emergency power 1 level lower, but I don't...
Did we?
I don't know. We were there.
No, but we didn't do anything to that plasma reactor downstairs.
Okay.
Well, they are Certainly on their way. We should be quick. This way.
While this is going on, by the way, Quentin is leaning against the wall and he's just looking at this elevator. He's like, you know, elevator, it's just me and you. To get till the end. Quentin in the lift. Making it. I'll get the Inquisitor to put a bow on you. You look real good with a bow. He's kind of mumbling to himself. Oh, wait. And then Ross appears behind him. And he just kind of closes his door. Yeah, I was waiting for you guys. You're taking so long. God, Llewellyn, type faster. Well,
Typing is inefficient.
what? How do you... Anyway, don't matter. Everyone, I've been keeping this lift right and ready for you. Let's get going.
Good job, Captain.
I try my best.
As you step into the elevator, Jill turns over to you, Jericho, and goes, "Don't get me wrong. I am still mad that you destroyed my favorite dress."
I did actually really like that dress. You looked very hot in that dress.
Hey!
She smiles and turns to the side, sort of like, "I know." And so he goes, "But unfortunately, we don't have enough time now."
Oh, there's always later, right?
She smiles, ignores you, looks at the elevator door, and it slowly opens. At that time, we can take a break.
Ooh.
Hey.
By the way, while Jericho was having that conversation, Quentin was just kind of glaring from behind, like, "Where's my hot lady to have these conversations with?"
I'm actually like thinking about the scene as we are like cramped in this small elevator